Uh, it seemed like the Emirates did not hear what Mikel Arteta actually asked of them in that I think it's about a 30-second video that he made asking them that he needed them in this game against PSG. Because what we saw in today's game, we missed, especially the Emirates. Emirates were missing. The ground was missing. Before we even start talking about the game, the tactics, the game, whatever that happened, the ground was missing. Maybe it was because of the early goal which was scored by PSG. But in those moments, that's when you have to carry your team, isn't it? But the Emirates was missing. And I think that played a part in the results of today's game. Hello, guys. Welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm Simon. We are back again with another one. So the game finished. PSG won. It's Arsenal nil, PSG won because they were at the Emirates. That's an interesting one because now the job is now on Arsenal's hands. How do they rise back from this? So there are many ways I'm going to look at this and I'm going to try by means to make it make sense. And I need you guys to help me. The purpose I'm asking you guys to help me is because I need you guys to tell me if what all the scenarios that I'm going to create out of this game will actually give you a better understanding of the game and if it is actually what you think is really the truth. First of all, Arsenal legged Thomas Partey. That's the easiest one that we can really put out. Because remember, you have to remember this is the first time Arsenal losing to PSG in most of the time that they've played. But what I'm saying is that Arsenal needs Thomas Partey. Because usually that midfield of Thomas Partey, Rice and Odegaard, usually if Odegaard is not in the game, Rice and Partey always rise to the occasion. They kept the game ticking. They kept the team in the game. And today, because he was not there, it felt like everything fell on the shoulders of Declan Rice. Now we are starting to see the human side of Rice because even though we are complaining about them not playing well, he is, I think, the only bright light you can say was shining in this game, even though they did not really perform so well. So I looked at it and I said, maybe if Thomas Partey was just next to the Declan Rice to make sure that whenever Rice comes and maybe put pressure on the PSG players, Thomas Partey comes in and collect, or maybe when he puts pressure on them, Rice comes in and collect the balls, because today he was really struggling. Say what you say of Mikel Moreno, he's good going forward, but he offers a little to nothing when it comes to when you need him in midfield. He was not really there, maybe because he was slow. Maybe this is a position he has not played in a long time and it really costed him. So I do believe Thomas Partey missing in that game really costed us now a lot. And also, in that same scenario of missing Thomas Partey, Mikel Mourinho was now known as the number 9 who drops in and become one of the midfield to make that midfield 3 to become a midfield 4. At times when Kelly comes in as well, it becomes a midfield 5, where they always have more personnel in that middle part of the pitch to make it difficult for the teams that they're playing with so that they take advantages of the opportunities which are created. And in today's game, the way I saw it, and this is just me, the way I saw it, it felt like Trossard did not really know how to play the part that Mikel Mourinho plays when he comes in to help in that midfield, so that the opportunity, it forces the teams to try maybe to risk and put players there, and it causes chaos. Because I actually noticed that Dembele actually was the only guy who was doing it to actually help out PSG, yet Arsenal are the ones who kind of like invented the thing and they always take advantage of those opportunities. Hence why every single time whenever they were trying to add players in the midfield, they were losing the ball easily, which made it easier for PSG to put pressure going forward. And I think that's one thing that can actually be clarified when Thomas Partey is back, because I think it will be a different game knowing that they have that personnel who actually understand how to play in that middle role. It's going to be interesting how that one plays out like. Secondly, and there's my second thing. Martin Odegaard is really failing at his job. When I mean his job, I'm not talking about being a captain of Arsenal. We already know that he has not been doing a good job. So many Arsenal fans are asking for Declan Rice to be the captain. But what I'm talking about is that Martin Odegaard as the creative force, as the guy who comes in when you get the balls to help out, to help the likes of Saka to pass them the right balls on the right opportunity so that they create something, is really failing. And it was very evident today because of maybe Vatinha, maybe because of what is that, the Jao Neves, he just could not get on the ball. He just could not do anything. It felt at some point that maybe he was invisible. I just did not see him in the game. And it's really important, especially looking at how the game is set up. It's really, really, really important that you get all your players. It became so easy, that midfield from the PSG players. And one thing that PSG players were really good at, they noticed that they cannot go man to man with Arsenal in terms of physicality. So they made sure that the pitch, and this is the funny part, this is the Emirates. They made the Emirates bigger for us now. How do you make the home stadium for the team you're playing against bigger for them to actually handle the spaces which were created by PSG in terms of their passes and how they were moving and progressing the ball in those passes? That's what I noticed. And Vatinha was a very, very pivotal in help out in doing that, as well as like the Jao Neves, and also that one, is it Firmino or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Hence why I felt like Martin Odegaard was missing, because in those opportunity, even though sometimes we do always know Martin Odegaard is the one who's known to do those runs where he tried to force mistakes out of players so that he puts pressure. I just could not see him in the game. And that's where I felt like maybe he was missing. I felt like he was missing. And the third, and I think is the third, the situation that I noticed, Mendes kept quiet Saka. And people are going to be surprised by that one, because to be honest, nobody can come out and say, okay, really, I did not see Saka really being put under pressure and he was not kept quiet down by me. But if you really look at it from the angle that I'm trying to give it to you, he did not really have to make sure that man of man, every movement that Saka was making, he was there to cause chaos. What he just had to do was to disturb him so that there's a player who collects the ball after he loses it when he's actually dealing with him, or maybe because, and without no Saka, it was just easy for PSG defense to deal with the rest of the threat, which was Trossard as well as Martinelli. It became so easy. Yes, opportunities open. But if you notice all the opportunities that opened up, it was by design by the PSG. The team, they were like saying it's better that opportunities opens up on the other players rather than on Saka, because Saka, that one opportunity, will take it and will be in trouble. So we'll make sure that Saka does not get any shooting chances. Hence why maybe at some point he felt like there were so many players on him and he just could not breathe. He just could not breathe, and in not breathing, it became easy. So in a way, you have to say Mendes kept quiet Saka, because he was not able to be pivotal or to be that key player that Arsenal need to create something out of nothing. We just did not see that. So that's why I do believe that Mendes kept quiet Saka. The other one, which is gonna be the last one, is PSG are just that goddamn good. From the backwards to the frontward, PSG are just that good. Because also one thing that you have to actually notice if you've really been paying attention, even though I did not see so much on the right side, but in terms of the right left side of PSG, Kvaratskhelia was a thorn for both, not only Timber and Saliba, both of them. And in doing so, Timber had to leave the pitch with an injury. In doing so, it forced so much of the defensive activity of Arsenal to focus morely on him, hence creating so much space for PSG to have fun. To have fun, really, to have excitement, to have good movement, to cause chaos going forward. If the shooting boots were really better, or maybe they really opened up so many opportunities, because Kvaratskhelia was creating those opportunities for PSG to take advantages of the opportunities which were being created. I just felt like PSG did not take advantage of that. But in terms of a discipline and a well-rounded team, in the more complete team, that's what PSG is at the moment. And it's really, really clear that It's going to take some doing to get them down. And it's going to be interesting to see how that second leg goes at the PSG. Is it, I've forgotten the name of the ground. I don't want to say some crazy things, but it's going to be really interesting. And one thing that I think this is the last one that I have to say of all the opportunities that I said, it felt like Arsenal played this game thinking that they're already in the finals. And I never expected them to like approach a game in that manner, because you have to actually understand that this is a team that doesn't have any European pedigree, both with PSG. And in knowing so, I thought, and this is just me, I thought they will have the more working ethic to try to make sure that they suffer to get to the promising land, which is the final. Beating Real Madrid doesn't mean you've made it to the final. Beating Real Madrid in the quarterfinal, it just means it's one step to take you close, but also it should also give you confidence in other things that you're going to be dealing with. And I felt like in the way Arsenal approached this game, it felt like they believed that they were already in the next stage. And I think maybe, and just maybe, that's how they suffered this game. And I wonder how are they going to change that mindset going into the next leg next week, because this is half time, and how can they use it to benefit them in the second half as it continues. To be honest, as much as I would like to call so much and say crazy things about the way the game went on, I actually have to be honest. Arsenal played so well. Arsenal played so well in phases, and that's really important to understand, in phases, because most of the time the ball was in PSG. I don't think that Arsenal is a team that is used in playing a game with no control of the game. But today it was clear they didn't have the ball. They had to suffocate for it. They had to fight for it. And it's because the PSG had them in the palms of their hands. And I just wonder, how do they improve from that? How do they make it better? How do they find the right things to actually start performing better than what we saw today? So many questions, people requiring so many answers, but I'm excited over how the next leg of this fixture is looking like. You might not have actually enjoyed it the way you expected it, but I think I'm telling you, you really did enjoy this game. So click the like button, subscribe to the connect. Let me know what you think of the second round of Arsenal versus PSG. Oh, it's going to be PSG versus Arsenal at the PSG home ground. How is that game going to play out like? Can Arsenal pull out what's that thing that Real Madrid was talking about? Remontada. Can they pull out a remontada? I'm excited for it. Like the video, subscribe to connect, and let me know in the comment section, like I asked. Tell me if my assessment are really fair to both Arsenal, Real Madrid, and the PSG. I'm out. Peace. Subscribe to the connect.